So here's our list of requirements. As you see, we've completed all of them. The most important ones are the questionnaire, facial recognition, and user interface, sleep prevention. All right, so the first one is the questionnaire. This is a questionnaire where the resident will interact with Misty, and Misty will ask the resident a series of questions. All right, then there's facial recognition, where this is where Misty looks around until she finds a face she recognizes, and she'll greet the person and say, hello, insert name here. The user interface will also pull resident info from a database. All right, and here's a console output of from the face recognition. As you can see, a face was recognized, and then it says, hello there, Kyle, but she also audibly says it. And if you go to the next slide, the name appears on her visor, or rather her display.
Misty is going to ask a staff member if they are awake. If they make any kind of a vocal input to Misty, she will be satisfied with the response. Otherwise, she will play off a noise, and then she'll ask again if they are awake, and she will repeat doing this until there is a vocal input. The non-functional requirements, first, Misty has to be accurate and reliable. She needs to be able to be accurately understood as to what the users are telling them. And Dialogflow is a great way to measure that. Another non-functional requirement is accessibility. We will be using MongoDB as our database. And through the user interface, staff members will be able to pull up resident information from our Mongo database. Performance, Misty needs to be clear as to what she's saying for a easy product user interaction. And here are our individual contributions. You can see I worked on the database, the questionnaire sleep detection skills, and the Dialogflow. Gabe has done sleep detection, facial recognition, and the Dialogflow as well with me. And Michael has done a lot of the front end user interface work and the back end of the user interface.
All right, so this is our Misty interface. So this interface was designed for staff members at Living Resources. It's a way for them to connect to Misty and work with Misty alongside the residents they are interacting with. So it demonstrates our use cases, but that's kind of why we made this interface, is because we didn't want to just demonstrate our use cases. We wanted to effectively have a user interface that Living Resource members can interact with on a day-to-day basis, and use our use cases with this interface. So it's definitely an important piece of the puzzle. Without it, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of what we wanted to do. So with that being said, the idea of this interface is for a staff member to work with a resident that has a certain condition, right? So the staff member, they can connect to Misty here, and then they can get this resident's information, and then they can interact with the resident using this interface. So I'll run through quickly, just a quick run through of how the interface works. So we can connect to Misty here, so successful connection here. All right, so here demonstrates the battery level, that's important. We don't want Misty to die in the middle of interaction. So we can get the staff member, pretend I'm the staff member, I can get the resident's information, or I can add a resident. So if I'm working with a resident for the first time, I'm going to want to add this resident. So let's say I'm working with a resident. I'll give the resident an ID of 1. I'll name the resident Mike, which is also my name. 26, lives in Albany, and condition of paralyzed. So this resident is paralyzed. They are from Albany, and they are 26-year-old. Name is Mike. We're going to add them to the database. So we can see that that request was successful by checking the console. Post saved. We can see right here, paralyzed, Mike. So all the information has been stored. All right, so now since I'm in the database, what we can do is we can get my information and put it on the screen. And that's the idea we want to do. We wanted the staff member to be able to see the resident's information while they're working with the resident. So if we go and get my name, what it's going to do is it's going to tell Misty, it's going to ask Misty if I'm in Misty's database, if she recognizes my face. So the staff member is gonna have the resident look at Misty. So when Misty's looking at the resident, which is me right now, I'm the staff member and the resident, I'm gonna click Get Resident, and what she's gonna do is she's going to train my face since she doesn't know who I am. So right here you can see the progress is running. So this takes about 20 seconds, but Misty's training my face right now.
Hello, Mike.
And there you go. You can tell that the training is done because she knows who I am now. She said, hello, Mike. And you can see all my information has been posted on screen. And that is the Misty user interface. We will demonstrate these use cases later on in this demo.
So this is the questionnaire file that we'll be running off of Misty. So I'll talk about how she recognizes vocal input and the dialogue flow API, and that we use in the file. And then later on, I'll show the dialogue flow and how that works. But first, we're going to talk about how we connect to it. We have to get access tokens, which authorizes us to go into the Google Cloud and grab the dialogue flow API data. And we do that by this function right here, initiating token refresh. This grabs the token and it creates one, and then it connects it to dialogue flow. And then with the update, once this time hits, this is measured in milliseconds. So once 60,000 milliseconds comes up, it will have to update, and we'll have to update through, they have to update its token. These are the credentials that will be used to connect to the dialogue flow. As you can see, the auth token URL we would need, our Google Cloud project ID we are going to need, and these two right here are for the text to speech, which I'll go over in a little bit. I'm not going to really go over that right now. So this gets the access token, and this is what gets the access token and throws it into the API, and this is what sets it. So once it connects, she'll be able to listen and start to listen. And this is when she starts listening right here, start key phrase recognition. This is what we have to say, hey, Snapdragon. And that's when she turns on and she's able to hear what you have to say. Once she's able to do that, she grabs an audio file, which is called capture_hey Misty. And then she sends that's what she sends over to Dialogflow, and which we can see right here. This is what she'll do. This is how she sends that file over to Dialogflow. We grab the tokens and the session IDs that I've mentioned earlier, and she tries to gather the input and tries to recognize which intent she will go, which we've set right here under the process dialog flow responses. You can see we've set these intents, these are the names of the intents, which I'll show later and how that works. our questionnaire intents are right here. So we have a whole bunch of if-else statements, which checks which intent is what does she recognize, and what she should be saying. After that, she will speak the text, which is the function that we made for her to say what she needs to say. And then she will capture the speech, which allows for a continuous conversation. So you don't have to say, "Hey, Snapdragon," every time. And then after that, she will go over to the capture speech function, which I'll scroll right back up right here. And this is what we use to do a continual conversation, and it's a lot more efficient and clean. We have, as you can see, we have in our intents, we have these animate functions, which those are functions that we've created right here to kind of give her a little more realism and life into her. Here's a speak the text function that I was talking about earlier. This is what we use to send her response to the text-to-speech API, Google's text-to-speech API. And yeah, that was all the important parts of the file. Let's go over dialog flow. So here's one of our intents, the questionnaire intent. Here's the training phrase, and the training phrase is what you would use to start the intent up. And that's how she's going to be able to recognize that, okay, so if I say start, I got to go into the questionnaire intent. And the response is what she'll say. So once you say start, she'll know to start the questionnaire, and she'll respond with, "Are you feeling okay?" So to test that, I will type in start. And as you can see, her default response will be, "Are you not feeling okay?" And how we were able to get all the information is through the diagnostic information that is generated with each intent and response. As you can see, here's the here's a fulfillment message. Here's what she'll say. We've been talking about the detection confidence for each intent. It's at a 1, so that means she was 100% able to know what we were saying. And the query text is the start of the intent.
Hey, Snapdragon. Start.
Are you feeling okay or not okay?
I'm feeling good.
Ooh. That's great. Does anything hurt or does nothing hurt?
Nothing hurts.
I am glad to hear that. Do you need help with something or do you not need help?
No, I don't.
Are you feeling okay or not okay?
I'm not okay.
Sorry to hear that. Would you like to talk to someone or would you not like to talk to someone?
Yes, I need help.
Ooh. I will get someone for you for your help.
Cancel.
I will turn off then.
All right, so I'll be talking about the face recognition skill for Misty. And so starting here, these are the most important functions for this skill. The Misty.start face recognition function is a function that's pre-built onto Misty, and it starts her face recognition. And then here we have the register face recognition function, which starts the event, the face recognition event, which calls this function, the face rec function. And this is where the bulk of the heavy lifting is happening. Pretty much the logic is pretty simple. If she doesn't recognize their face, they're an unknown person. She displays her disgust. Her light turns red, that kind of stuff. However, if she does recognize them, she's happy, and there's some other personality stuff like displaying a joyful face, moving her arms in a nice way, that kind of thing. And she'll say hello and insert name whoever it is. So like, hello, Mike, or whomever. And that will be, their names will already be on her from previous face training. And besides that, there's just some more functions that deal with little like personality type quirks thing, her random hand movement, and how she looks around. So she's not just like a lifeless robot sitting there not doing anything and scanning your face. Rather, she might have a friendly face on, and she'll look around for faces and that kind of thing.
Hello, Mike.
Sleep prevention skill for Misty, and this uses Google's Dialogflow, similar to the questionnaire in her questionnaire. Pretty much this function, the process Dialogflow response function, looks for two cases. One, if the user makes any noise when Misty prompts them to say that they're awake or something along those lines. So if she does hear a sound, rather if she hears back from Dialogflow that yes, a sound was recorded, she will say, good, you're awake, and prompt them to put their face in front of her camera so that she can recognize them or do the face recognition, which is here. Otherwise, if she doesn't hear anything, she'll assume they're asleep, call the wake up function, and that function will play a siren, and then we'll prompt the user to again make a noise so that she can determine whether or not they're awake.
Hello, are you awake? Please verify by saying I'm awake or I'm up. Hello, are you awake? Please verify by saying I'm awake or I'm up.
I'm up.
Bring your face in front of me, front and center. Don't test me. I have a flashlight and I'm not afraid to use it.